Engulfed in a cycle of violence, the Central African Republic faces a hunger crisis that risks becoming even deeper due to poor sanitation, rising food prices and the imminent rainy season. Cases of severe malnutrition have been reported among people who have fled their homes and are living in precarious conditions. These people aren't waiting to catch flights, but they are getting life-saving assistance. Over 100,000 people sheltering in the airport at the capital, Bangui, are receiving food from the World Food Programme. This includes a special peanut-based product, in addition to other nutritional products.
WFP is about getting the right food at the right time to the right people. Today was the day that we were explaining to these women, each one representing one of their zones, what the food that we're going to give. And this time it's Super Cereal Plus. It's a cereal that contains milk, the food that all young children need, plus lots of vitamins and minerals that will help them stay healthy, resist disease, and continue to grow normally. But of course they need to know what it is and who it's for and how to prepare it, and just to always underscore the rules of good hygiene.
On s'est retrouvé dans une situation qu'on n'espérait pas.
We have found ourselves in a very difficult situation. We have no money to live, and sometimes we don't eat for 2 days.
How do your children react to that?
At first it wasn't easy, but now they're getting used to it. This is helping us a lot. We prepare the super cereal for the children in the morning, so it will help them get through the day.
WFP faces serious logistical challenges. When the rainy season begins, roads that are unsafe due to marauding militia will become impassable due to flooding. So getting food now to people who need it most is critical.
Christine Mugore Munene farms on the slopes of East Mount Kenya. Until recently, she was dependent on seasonal rains to water her crops. Now she has water whenever she wants, at the turn of a tap.
Now I can do anything because the water is flowing continuously.
The water flows not just because there are more tubes and pumps to move it along, but because of something even more essential: trees. Thanks to a pilot project supported by the UN's International Fund for Agricultural Development, more than 7 million seedlings have been planted in the water catchment along the eastern slopes of Mount Kenya. And it's trees, according to project forester Paul Njuguna, that keep water flowing.
When you have the trees in a water catchment, it helps to ensure that when it rains, the water is held into the soil and it joins the river basin slowly. That ensures that there is sustainability on the flow of the rivers.
But for nearly 4 decades, excessive logging and poor farming practices have reduced forest cover by 5,000 hectares, slowing water flow, eroding soil, and increasing poverty, particularly for the 80% of Kenyans, like Christine, who rely on farming to make a living. Reversing the trend requires changing attitudes, which includes making local farmers responsible for protecting and preserving water resources, says project manager Faith Livingston.
These farmers are the owners of the land, and therefore it was important that the farmers become partners in efforts to conserve the environment, in the efforts also to conserve and manage the water resource.
One way to involve farmers is to encourage them to form groups to manage water resources. Christine is a member of the Kitino Water and River Users Association. Her group teaches other local farmers about good environmental farming practices and encourages them to plant indigenous trees along riverbanks. The group has also hired local gauge readers who come twice a day to monitor water levels in area rivers.
You see, the vegetation cover has improved. The farmers have changed their way of farming, and as well as the pollution in the rivers has lessened. and with the volumes of the water in the rivers have improved.
This spring, which once served just 480 farmers, now benefits more than 3,000, Christine among them. With reliable water, she can grow more high-value crops, like these snow peas bound for Germany. And with the profits, she's hired more workers and purchased more land. The original quarter-acre farm her family worked for generations is now 3 acres, and Christine has plans to expand her operation further.
My plan is that we want to do the introduction of biogas so that we don't cut down trees, using it for lighting and everything else.
Now, with water flowing, Christine can make changes that will improve her farm and her life. One recent innovation is in her kitchen. The water that's been nourishing her crops now fills tanks built into her kitchen fireplace, giving her mother heated water for bathing and cleaning for the first time in her life.
Aquaculture is the farming of aquatic organisms such as fish, crustaceans or plants under controlled conditions in fresh or salt water. Following large-scale expansion beginning in the 1970s, aquaculture is now one of the primary sources of protein for millions of people all around the world.
Aquaculture is one of the fastest development sector in the world and is currently providing more than 50% of fish proteins for food consumption.
Dr. Francesco Cardia works for the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, as Chief Technical Advisor to the project of strengthening and supporting further development of aquaculture, based here at the Fisheries Research Center on the coast of the Red Sea at Jeddah.
In the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, there has been very good production of shrimp in inland facilities. Now the development plans are to increase the production of fish.
The fishery sector is becoming increasingly important to the economy of the kingdom. As well as the development of research laboratories here, additional activities have been developed in other locations, in partnership with the Ministry of Fisheries and the private sector.
We have very good cooperation with the Ministry, supported by FAO. We would not have been able to start this project so fast and expand so quickly if it hadn't been for their support. Primarily, they had already introduced barramundi into the kingdom. They had secure, disease-free broodstock, and they were generous enough to allow us to have eggs and some broodstock to start our project. The ultimate aim of aquaculture is to provide food. Our company has a vision of 100,000 tons of fish production within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is a very significant investment, a very significant production for the kingdom.
Most of the fish farming will be carried out in cages. However, through the partnership of FAO, environmental risks are currently being taken into account.
The forecast for production and the target are very ambitious, so technical assistance will help to develop sustainably this sector in the future.
And in the meantime, aquaculture will continue to contribute to the nation's food security, while helping to diversify the Saudi economy. This is Declan McCormack for Hungry Planet.